Okay, I really need to talk to you about Whitehead Ross Education, who are an education and social welfare organisation. Founded in 2012, they deliver a variety of high-quality skills-related programmes and social services provision. Their programmes include support for unemployed individuals to retain and secure jobs, vocational training programmes, adult education and social services provision. Since started in 2012, they have now supported over 11,500 individuals. Their existing clients include local authorities, the Department for Work and Pensions, and Education Skills Funding Agency. They have locations throughout Wales and England, including Merthyr Tydfil, Swansea, Neath Port Talbot, Newport Bridgend, Brighton, Gosport, Worthing, Swindon and Weymouth. A full list and more details are available by visiting their website at www.wrecltd.co.uk, and you can also follow them across their major social media platforms. And thank you for sponsoring this episode. This is a paid advertisement from the wonderful people from Brynawel Rehab, who are based in the beautiful countryside setting in Llanharan, Wales. Brynawel offers opportunities for detox and rehabilitation for people struggling with addiction. The Brynawel team will give you the best support, tools and expertise to recover from your dependencies, to change your life and become the person you were meant to be. They offer affordable, evidence-based therapy programs tailored to each individual guest, and also well-being activities such as horticultural therapy, art therapy, gardening in their well-being allotments, gym visits, yoga and meditation. All rooms are single and ensuite. To book a visit or for further information, please contact the team on 01443 226 864 or email contact@brynawelhouse.org. And thank you for sponsoring this episode. Coffee. We all love it. Most of us rely on coffee to get us through our busy day. But then comes the inevitable energy slump that's left us feeling drained and unproductive. Not anymore. Plus Coffee is a premium functional coffee and the first of its kind to push the boundaries between traditionalism and innovation. 100% vegan friendly and with 100 milligrams of caffeine, they found the benefits of adaptogens that date back hundreds of thousands of years. It's imperative that we don't necessarily change the coffee that you love, but improve the way you consume it on the daily. To get your new fix or to find out more, visit pluscoffee.co.uk.
So, just one man pod? Yes, we're talking Welsh. I'm learning Welsh. I'm still learning Welsh. I'm 46 days in. I'm doing well. I've learned.
Give me a sentence.
Oh, Mark Dewey.
My 3-year-old daughter didn't know, for God's sake. Come on.
But if there's anything you want to know about Monday and dragons
Parsnip.
and parsnip, panas for the parsnip, I can do that. Welcome back to Just One Man podcast. We are not behind Dragon, as you notice.
Another pub? It's not good.
Well, it's a very nice club within Nelson Rugby Club. Which, as you guessed it, is in Nelson, at the bottom end of the Merthyr Valley. There is a wedding downstairs, so if at any point you see a bride running through with a bottle of vodka, not tequila, because that would that's what it'll be. But we have a very special guest. And as I always say, all our guests are very special in their own way. But I'm selfishly, I'm very, very excited to see the furthest travel guest by far.
Thanks for the sponsored plane tickets.
All the way from Hong Kong.
Valley's by Harto.
Yes. But Ben Cullen is with us.
Excited to be here?
Well, I'm excited to be here. I looked back on my phone earlier on, and we reconnected in January of this year.
My goodness.
And arranged this in January.
Here we are.
How long was the last conversation you had together?
Today?
It was today.
No, as in like... No,
it was before that.
I thought you were saying we hadn't spoken since January.
No. It had been years.
X or Y.
It had been a good 3 years.
In fairness, you're very, at one point I was very, very active on LinkedIn, and you were always very supportive.
Yeah.
And we comment on each other's stuff, and Mark would always, was regular to comment and say, well done, or keep it up, whatever it was. So I would say that was a little bit of a bridge, but as far as like spoke on the phone or had actual conversations, been long time.
It'd been a long time. But I said earlier on, we had a phone conversation back in January, and it's as if we were right to the back.
Yeah, I know.
Like no time has passed. But time has passed. You don't live around here no more. You've gone on to bigger and better things. Not that there's anything wrong with Nelson.
They're different things. They're different things.
Very different. I suppose the place to start is how did you get to the point where you thought, you know what, I'm off. I'm going. I want to see more than what's in my immediate.
The short answer is it was mum and dad's influence, to be honest. Even to the point where mum and dad had asked me did I want to go skiing when we were in Avontaff, and I don't know why I was like that. I didn't have that kind of interest. Little did I know that they'd be paying money every month for me to go. And it came to Christmas, and I was 15, I think. Opened these presents, I was like, on earth have I got a skiing pair of goggles for?
I got Salapex. Why have I got Salapex in this one?
Mum and dad. Dad had always wanted to go skiing. Never did through his knees and his age or whatever. Dad was quite old having us. So it was dad's influence maybe on the skiing and stuff, but then we were fortunate enough to travel a reasonable amount. And dad had a successful business when he was through his life, and he took over his father's family business, and he did a lot of traveling. I said, Mum, and I remember him telling me it was like a period of 5 years, I think. Before it was the Six Nations, it was the Five Nations, and he didn't miss a match for 5 years, home and away, and speak about these experiences or something. I'd say that was the early influence. And then I got an opportunity to travel a little bit at university, did the charity. I don't know the right word to term it. The company I was working for, a sports company, was doing charity work in Africa. It was educated about HIV and AIDS through sport. And I applied and got to go through it, and I was one of the 10 that got picked. That was when I was like 18, 19. That was definitely a transformative experience in my life, going from, our first world country to Kenya, Nairobi, and went to Uganda. And it's like, as a 19-year-old, you can't even believe what you're seeing, to be honest. But like the happiest people ever, they've got nothing, they've got each other. That was transformative. And then I guess to speed it up a little bit, I got a phone call one day. I was 23. Did I want to go play rugby in Australia? Absolutely was not on my agenda at all to play rugby elsewhere, even though there was lots of people doing it. And one of my best friends moved to Hong Kong before that call came out, and I was to go to Hong Kong to play rugby. So I moved to Australia and loved it, and played for 2 seasons, and then moved from there to Hong Kong. It's difficult to stay in Australia, visa-wise.
Yeah, right.
And unless you're doctor, nurse, or like a brickie or business. That's it. I got a sports science degree. They don't need I'm like a everyday person in Australia, so couldn't stay. And then the opportunity came in Hong Kong and jumped at it. Hated it the first month, maybe longer. It's really hard to adjust initially. It's a mad city and it's big, and we weren't living in, I guess, the nicer part of town we were living in. Not that it was a bad part of town. There isn't really a bad place there, like it's no rough places. It was the most densely populated, one of the most densely populated places in the world. My bedroom didn't even have a window. It was like, no joke, it was probably about as big as this booth. There was a double bed, and it was about this much room down the side of it, and then there was an IKEA single wardrobe at the end, and a door. And the space that was in my room was to open the door. And I'd gone from living in a 3-story house I was paying rent in Australia with a car and a pool, and I kind of didn't realise how good I had it. Anyway, you quickly find your feet, and I didn't get into it, and I've been there 9 years in August. That answers your question. It was through Mum and Dad's initial influence to kind of get outside of what, or it's not even get outside, it's like go have a look.
Yeah.
Go have a look. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, because I think, you know, for people who kind of know you or have known you for some time, you know, you're one of those people whose name is synonymous with rugby. Like, you know, you think of rugby and you think of the Cullen boys. You know, what was the hesitancy of kind of, oh, you know, yeah, I got it offered to go and play, but you know, is it a case that you're happy where you are, or you're unsure of the standard or the level? Or?
No, I think, to be honest, there was no hesitancy. We sent a work with a talk about ex-girlfriends, but my ex-girlfriend I was living with at the time, you know, she had agreed that I could go and we would stay together, and we did long distance for a long time. But, you know, whilst I was living with her, very happy living there, there was no hesitancy. There was like, I've got to go and do this. Dad had passed away by this point, and it was a case of going, Mum and Dad say, and there's no shadow of a doubt.
Did he pick it up the door?
Yeah. There is no question. You know it. And to be honest, there wasn't a hesitancy. You know, there were some difficult conversations on really living together in Cardiff when I was still, you know, both still super young. Do you know what I mean? Even young to live it together, I would say. So there wasn't really any hesitancy. And then I felt like when I got there, it was, you know, I'd stayed locally for university, which was great, but I felt like, you know, I hadn't gone and, you know, living away in university, you get it completely, you got to figure stuff out, and do you know what I mean? I got the best of both worlds staying at home, but I felt like I moved to Australia, and that was almost like my, you know, and free sort of thing. Not that I wasn't free, but it felt like, you know, I was the other side of the world and I could do what I want, and I don't think a little bit, you know, but also like I'm here to have a great time and work hard, and rugby was at a level I didn't expect. Rugby in Wales is, you know, it's like being big and it's wet, you know, you look out there right now and that look nice to play out in. And the game is not fast, and in Australia it's the opposite. The guys are not that big. There are some big boys there, but nothing Michael boys in Wales.
No.
I don't know how to play this version of the same game.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it was the same game, and you know, quickly it was sink or swim. And I think anybody, when you're in an environment where, you know, nobody was in any shape or form talking down to me, it was all encouragement, but I was definitely out of my depth initially. But, you know, through trying my best and the support of the excellent coaches, I got to the level where I was in the team and deserved to be there. But initially I was like, oh my God, what have I done? It was like, I feel like I don't belong here. Yeah. I almost felt bad. I was like, they've brought this guy over from Wales, the centre that came well recommended, but it was just a different game.
So, how long were you in Australia for before you moved up?
It was 2 seasons. And to stay the second season, I had to do the notorious farm work. So the off season was 4 months, and I spent 3.5 of it on the farm.
How did you find that?
That was gigged. It was hard work, and my brother had moved to Australia as well with 3 of his best mates, Jack and Barry, and me, the Welsh pack we were named, and then they actually had a little bit of money. I was safe to say that at this point I didn't have a single dollar to my name, and it was a case of doing our best, and you have to pay extortionate amounts of money to stay in these hostels for terrible conditions, but they got their contract with their fathers. So they gave you the work, and they got you by the balls, because without the work you've got to go home. You can't get your second year.
No.
And the people that run the risk of doing the false papers and that, I can't remember what it was, but they checked 1 in 10 or something. They'll check your bank account. We went to Bundaberg, which is north of Brisbane. You said you were in Bundaberg, we'll check your bank account to see where you were spending money. Or where are you spending money in Bundaberg? I didn't want to run the risk, I wanted to play the second season. So it was really hard graft. But we honestly had the best time. There was no internet, no one had any laptops, there was no screens. You couldn't afford data, and then the data you had, it was like you had 1 gig for the month. I'm not joking, no one spent any time.
So what year was this?
2014. It was not like the internet was like not a thing. It was all like on the farm. There was no Wi-Fi. None of the backpackers had laptops.
Of course.
And there was no Wi-Fi there, and the data was expensive, or you had like a plan was 1 gig a month. Instagram was like in its infancy.
Yeah.
You know, there was you all we did was have banter and make up and games, and we drink on a Thursday, I think it was. There was one pub in the town. There was more than one pub, but there was one pub on a Thursday, and you could buy a jug of beer for £5 Aussie, which is not a lot of money. It's like bargain. I don't know. It was like £3. You buy a jug, and try and drink. The banter was you had to drink the jug in one. The first jug, you have to drink it in one. But it was 2 litres, I think, so his best part of 4 pints or whatever. And but they only sold the jugs for 1 hour. I should say that. So it was 7 to 8 p.m. So that was why you chopped your first jug. Have to see if you can on your second or whatever. So, but we just made up a good time. So the farm work was tough graft, but it was hell of a time.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. We still talk about it very fondly, and there's
Never memories, you just can't.
Yeah. I honestly, we were on the hardest thing we ever picked. We picked all sorts of fruit. It depends on whatever work you could get. Some people get really stable work, and we might work on strawberries for 3 months. Same job every day. But most of it is you take whatever comes in. It might be 2 days of this, 3 days of that. We worked on a pineapple farm, and it's like the hardest work I've ever done in my life, without shadow of a doubt. And you walk. There's a line of you. You walk up. You see the rows.
Yeah.
You know, you walk up the rows. You're responsible for 2 on your left and 2 on your right. And you walk past, and you have to check. It's not fast, but it's fast enough that you've got to keep up.
Right.
You've got to check the pineapple. Is it ripe or not?
Yeah.
If not, you leave it. If it is, you pick it.
Yeah.
But to pick it, you've got to kind of like bend down, and they grow on a small stalk.
Okay.
And you've got to snap it, but it's lower and we want tall. Right. You've got to snap it, and then you pick it up and put it on like a conveyor belt. Some of these the pineapples you see in the store, a tiny fraction of them look like that. You get pineapples, I'm not joking, like this big. They're like 6 pineapples in one, and they got all these different spikes on the top. You've never seen anything like it. They're used for pineapple juice. None of that gets used.
Okay.
So they're ones, they honestly, no joke, they might be, I don't even know every that, but they're heavy. It might be typically, it might be 10 kilos, I'm not even kidding. You've got to snap it off and whatever. And I remember being like, talking to myself, walking along like this isn't forever. But it's killing.
Yeah.
The stalks are really sharp. So you've got to wear long sleeve, you've got to wear gloves. It's 35 degrees. You're sweating. Again, it was terrible. But I remember, on those breaks and you finish the day, go, I worked hard today.
Yeah.
I worked hard today. Yeah.
I suppose the motivation end of the year going like, I want to play rugby, I want to play rugby, I've got to do this, otherwise game over.
It was, yeah. And then the other thing was, there was no distractions, like, because when we were in Brisbane, you're in the city, like, there's a million distractions. Yeah. It was a great life, but on the farm there was nothing to do, so we'd work, go home. I was basically their dad, to be honest, before. I'd cook and organise we'd go grocery shopping every day to do something. Yeah. And we'd buy the groceries for that day, and we'd eat unhealthy, and we'd finish on the thing, and there was this whole set of weights in a trolley, like an actual shopping trolley, rusty and whatever. And we'd go into we'd work, we'd shower or whatever, go to the grocery store, and then we'd go to the trolley. That was the banter. And we trained for an hour at the trolley, but it was really good prep for my pre-season, because there was no distractions and it was one sole focus. Yeah. That's a long story, but yeah, the farm was good. I will tell you one. I mean, again, there's so many, but one that I will tell regularly is I got called up one day to go to this tomato farm, cherry tomatoes. Wow. They grow on vines in rows, but they grow, up the vine. Right. Yeah. There's tomatoes low, there's tomatoes in the middle, there's tomatoes high. So I get there, and we give you a quick show basically. If the tomato is fully green, you don't touch it. Cherry tomatoes up. If it's got a tiny bit of orange, you pick it because it'll ripe. That's the plan. Yeah. We want to do it fast. So I'm on the first day, figuring out. I've been there an hour and figuring out. I think farmers on to me. Gotta go faster. Can I say?
Yeah, sure.
And I was like, Jesus. Anyway, this German guy comes out and he goes, I'll tell you what I do. He's like, at the bottom, loads of greens.
Right.
Just pick up. get a level on your thing, and then you go along and do whatever. Brilliant. So I filled the bottom with greens.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to got these going in the bin essentially.
Yeah.
The reason you do this is that you take your bucket to the truck, but on the truck there might be 100 buckets. They don't know who's who. Do you know what I mean? I need to preface it with that. So he's like, just do that, take it to the truck, no one will know, because they ain't getting checked till this afternoon. Don't know. So loads of greens, and then I fill up my thing or whatever, take it to the truck, and the guy's gone on a bit faster. Well done. When you picked it, you know the little stalk, you have to use your thumb to take it off. Don't let any stalks on there.
Right.
I've left one stalk in this massive bucket on the top, and he's gone, oh, you better check your bucket. So he's got an empty bucket to pour into it, but he's pouring relatively slowly because he wants to check the stalks. Anyway, you're like, orange, and it's just purely greens. Just greens. Anyway, like he's lost it, sweating Aussie.
Yeah.
And then I go in the bin, like, da. Brilliant. Anyway, I get back, we finished work that day. He's fuming. There was more incidents in the afternoon. I won't go into them, but anyway, I get off the bus that day, and the guy Rod, who was the hostel owner, and he managed the work, and he went, "You've not been welcome back tomorrow." One day on the cherry tomato farm, I got sacked.
That's a great thought. Yeah, that's fucking brilliant. That.
But then you know, like you hear that type of stuff, and you know, like you think, all right, everyone would go.
Yeah.
But that type of sense of community, that sense of graftness and the moon in it, you know, they do something like that over here. I think it can be a game changer.
Yeah.
Especially with, you know, younger people and the people who struggle to find work or whatever, you know. But obviously we just have like as if we haven't got 35-degree weather and you know, and because of the environment more. But
the cherry was there for me, right? Like, would I choose to do that?
well, the cherry tomato was there.
The cherry tomato was there.
Green there.
Loads of greens.
Loads of green.
Well, the cherry, the carrot, I should say perhaps. The carrot was staying in Australia, and you have no option. Well, you do have an option. You could buy it and maybe get away with it. For me, there was no option. But to play the second year, I have to go through this process. Yeah. And I'm glad I did. We also honestly had the best time ever. You know, my brother would, the one day wound me up so bad because I've got a very long fuse. But there were some days you've had a hard day or whatever, and we'd all have $5 each. That's what we did. Budget every day was $5 each. So I collect the money. You know, we'd have 25 between us, and then we'd decide what are we gonna cook for dinner or whatever. And one day my brother's like, they were all winding me up when I was in so many long fees. And my brother was like, "It's not even sound that funny now. You went to the biggest joint of ham you've ever seen in your life." It was like this, like, and he's thrown her on the corner and he goes, "What about this, bud?" I swear to God, I was like,
So that's what you need, yeah. So that's what you need.
that's it. You know, we had no chance, not a single chance. We couldn't even, own a quarter of it without budget. What about this, bud? Not today, that. Not today. So we had a great time.
Good, it's good. So, the end of this second year then came to an end. You then decided to, like, rugby's done and then move on then? Or was
No, I moved via rugby still. So it was when I was playing in Australia, there was a guy who used to coach the club I was playing for, was then coaching a team in Hong Kong.
Oh, right.
So he came back one weekend and we connected, and a few of my mates had already gone to play for him. And he sort of, planted the seed about potentially coming over, and then, I did want to stay in Australia. We looked at, visa stuff is so complicated. A few companies like, we're not, buddy, you're interested in you, but not going through that process, you're not that bloody good. So that was where the link was still with our girlfriend at the time, so I had to have, more difficult conversations, but the opportunity was there, and what was I really gonna, you're looking at who she was moved to London, and I said, oh, damn, wouldn't we get it? And there was nothing really drawing me to London. Like, brilliant. And then, yeah, so it was rugby that moved me there as well, and did the first year, and then it was like, came back for a bit, I did one season, came back, and by that point I understood the nuances of business and the entrepreneurial spirit of Hong Kong, and then that was kind of where I went back, and then we started, you know, my first company, then Rugbytotshk, and that's now 8 years old. Or, no, was that 7.5 years old? It'd be 8 years old in January. Right. But the reason I moved back was because this, you know, you could really make moves there, and the city is built for companies to start at, but no cost of fees and no tax, and we make it quite easy compared to other places.
Yeah. So, when you got hold of what was like your first sort of inquiry from going from Australia, being in Australia for that time, then going to Hong Kong and plan a room and thinking, what have I got myself in for?
So, I mean, that was a shock initially, and then the biggest shock came when, so I arrived on, go back a step, the Hong Kong Scottish, the team was going to pay for it. We spoke about this last night, we had some family around last night, we spoke about it. They'd given me like £1,000 to pay for my airfare. While I spending £1,000 about, do you know what I mean? I'm getting the cheapest flight and pocketing the rest. So I did that, took a stupid, instead of going direct from Australia to Hong Kong, I took the cheap flight via China Airlines, stop off was in Taiwan, land in Taiwan, typhoon. I then get stuck in Taiwan for 16 hours. No. Then, by the time I get to Hong Kong, I'm like almost a day late, do you know what I mean? And then my mate comes and picks me up from the airport. We go straight to training. I take my suitcase to rugby training. I've not been to bed, and do you know what I mean? Stuck in the airport for 16 hours. I had the worst training session of my life. I thought they were going to send me back. So that was the Thursday, and then on the Saturday we played a sevens tournament in August, and I cannot tell you how hot it's all AstroTurf. I cannot tell you how hot this AstroTurf gets, to the point where it burns your feet when you stand on the AstroTurf.
Oh wow.
I'm not joking. I thought my boots would melt in. I couldn't believe it. And then you have this really smart idea to put water on it, makes it worse. Yeah. Obviously I didn't know that at the time, and I'm just going, this is terrible. So my feet are actually on fire. Doing a kind of a slide tackle, completely graze, all long graze on my shin. I think the reason it burned so, the graze was so big, not because it was an incredible slide or like long slide, it's because the grass was so hot, or just sliced me open. I didn't think anything of it, or we cleaned it and whatever. I didn't know how bad these infections can get. Sunday there was like a party. Again, same thing, you know, the leg was bad, but the end of it, woke up on a Monday, my whole leg was like fully red and inflamed. I could barely walk. And then I made this place is called Mongkok. That's what I was with it.
Well,
you know what I said? And
you gotta move anywhere.
Yeah,
You got to move to Hong Kong.
that's how we moved. And then I needed a doctor, and I was like, well, I don't know what to do now. So I Googling and walking around trying to find a doctor, go in and have an antibiotic jab in my ass to try and get rid of this infection, and then I can't do anything for the next week. And I'm like, what on earth have I done? Between the box room, this infection, the heat, my boots burning and all that, I'm going, I got all the earth, I got so it was legit a culture shock. And the MTR, the metro station where we lived, is literally the busiest one in Hong Kong, and there's like 25 exits, and there's tens of thousands of people going in and out at any one time. No joke, it's thousands of people in and out at any one time. So it was a big shock, and then, you know, bit by bit you get to see, you know, it's a really good social life there, and the rugby was bad, to be honest. I would say it got better for a few years, and then pre-COVID, and then COVID, like anything, kind of messed me up a little bit there, but the standard was good enough, and I was enjoying playing, and was working for a company and getting mentored by a guy working for him for free, and yeah, didn't want to leave in the end, actually. It obviously took a while. It definitely wasn't love at first sight.
Stuck at it and stuck again and
Yeah, we got there, didn't we?
I ended some rugby, but
yes,
not in Moncock. Moncock's like a.
I don't plan to ever go back to Moncock. I can maybe to go. Maybe
That's got to be one of those all-time great Google searches.
Yeah,
Dr.
Moncock.
Dr. Moncock.
What did it say, Dr. Moncock?
I can't even remember what they were.
Yeah. You just a little bit. You obviously out in Hong Kong when this little thing called COVID came about. I bet that wasn't the funnest thing to experience when you're up there.
And then we were a part of China, right? So we were the first ones to get hit, if you like, and we kind of were a month-ish or 6 weeks ahead of, I think. Yeah, I guess I was in touch with Europe as opposed to the States or whatever. I think we were about 6 weeks ahead, and nobody knew what was going on. And I've got an events company, and it was Valentine's Day, February the 14th, 2020, and our company was a lot smaller then, and me and my two business partners, we were all individually financially at risk. The company, everything that had gone in, it was all out. There was no like pot or whatever. It was like we were still spending our own money to put all the events on. And hopefully we'd make money and pay ourselves back with a little bit left over. And that's it, that's where we were. And this event, and then it was like every event in the city had been cancelled. Every single event. But there was only like 50 cases that had been recorded in Hong Kong. And me, George, would tell you, like, we can't, it's ridiculous now because of how serious COVID became. I was like, we can't afford to cancel this. We went ahead, and we were the last event in the city to go ahead for I don't know how many years at that capacity. And then pretty much then the next 2 days, then it was low. At this point, it was like there wasn't actual restrictions. It was like they hadn't even got the guidelines really yet. It was like, oh, you probably shouldn't do that. We did, we went ahead, and that was the start of it. And then our rugby business was less hit initially, because it wasn't a 100-person thing. No, we have 12 or 15 kids in the class, and actually for a little bit when the schools closed and there wasn't many restrictions, we were actually putting on these essentially holiday camps, online learning, and wasn't a thing. We figured out yet. So there was actually a little window where we did our best to capitalise on it. Safe to say that didn't last too long, and then we went out, in and out of restrictions for the next literally 3 years, which is saying is April 2023 that we stopped wearing masks illegally. Up until now, you'd still have to wear it. You get a 500 or £1,000 fine, depending on different circumstances. Until April last year. No, it was a little bit, and it was even to like. Was it like over about 40 or like we want public transport? That was literally a year ago.
That's mad. That's mad to think like in only a year ago.
We worked very, very hard, and we built this ridiculous children's TV show for Rugbytotshk, and we dress up. We did it 3 or 4 times a week. We'd go live for 45 minutes. We'd have hundreds of kids watching us, and it was free to everyone. And so many good things came from that, and that, whilst I certainly never want to go back to COVID or whatever, lots of those things that happened actually led to where I am now with, the Facebook Live led to the radio led to TV and MC and all these things. So if it wasn't those Facebook Live TV shows, I don't have radio ever happened and whatnot. So we made the most of it. We had again, same thing. It was almost like the farm stuff, like no money, we got nothing to do. We just had a bloody good time, and we made up these ridiculous. We decorate the wall and make it a jungle and dress up as one of us be a monkey, one of us be a tiger or whatever. The kids loved it.
And it was like you had something to do to get find off. Yeah, if I not just the whole world with everything.
Yeah, we would come up with storyboards of like it was our office, right? We turned it into a makeshift studio, but right, you look at the screen, like, just the left hand side was the front door to the office.
That's right.
So we'd use that as, we'd use that heavily with jokes and like knock the door and be like, oh, who's going to come in now? Whatever. It was ridiculous. We just come up with the most outrageous thing. We used to use toilet rolls with them. The kids didn't have balls at home, so we used toilet rolls and socks as part of the rugby program that we literally made up.
Yeah.
And the one day the banter was that we didn't have the toilet rolls. There's no class today. And then the banter was that Jack and Pete and buy. There's also guides in there for the parents, by the way. So no one could get all the toilet roll, right? That's it.
We remember that.
Exactly.
We remember that.
So there was bad today. Anyway, and then there was a knock on the door, and my brother bursts in, and he's got like 50 toilet rolls or whatever. And then there's toilet rolls everywhere. So we were like literally coming up with banter. Oh, there's stuff there. And there was. It's like I don't know. We'd dig into each other for the parents' banter as well. The kids would have no idea the banter we were talking about. It was like talking about height or being slow or like what. I can't even think of any good examples right now. But we would rip each other.
Yeah.
But it was all for the kids and
And well, that's good children's sound. No, because I noticed it all now with a young son.
Yeah.
I was mad for Deggy. Yeah, I say Deggy. And there's lots of adult jokes in there. And I think like that's good because these parents have got to re-watch these programs over and over and over. So
I just worked out why you watch in the nights.
I watched Dougie, and I got no problem in saying I watched Dougie. I don't hate Dougie.
I'd watch Paint Ungrateful Pig. And the outrage, well, she found whistle. Come on.
Well, it could be worse to be Dougie and thrown out of badges to give the children even had a time to vote vouch. I was trying to influence small children to vote for a political party.
There you go.
But before you go off of that, that was like, you hear stories that come out before that are all doom and gloom. And there's very rare you hear the good stuff that comes with the COVID, especially in somewhere that's sort of actually populated. So, I highly hit on that COVID thing, and then to you to get them kids, get them adults, move in and take your mind off the fact that the world's just gone into the chaos.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's nice to actually hear something good out of.
Do you know the way all that's going on then? Like, obviously you're in this kind of executive centres for project, because it was one of the places that you saw on TV, and they were having obviously riots with the university and all the rest of it, and there was all this stuff going on. Even though you're kind of busy in yourself, and is there ever a moment where you're thinking, A, this is mental, and B, are we ever going to get out of this?
Yeah. Not both answers yes to both of them. It was mental. It definitely was mental. And the protests, that's another story altogether, but I lived in a place called Causeway Bay. That was the heart of the protests every single Sunday. And outside my front door was the main pitch. The tear gas, the bricks, and you'd have to make a decision on a Sunday, are we going out or are we staying in? I wouldn't say we were in danger in the flat. We were in danger in the flat.
Just if you did go on.
If you did go out, but we knew it was always the afternoon. It was every Sunday afternoon for I don't know how many months. It was chaos. So you make a decision on a Sunday morning, we're staying in or we're going out. And then if you stayed out, you might not actually be able to get into midnight.
Yeah.
Once it's calmed down or whatever. And the one day, I actually still can't believe it was real. I was walking around the streets, and the railings which are on the side of the door to pedestrians can't get on the road, and I just like normal barriers and stuff. The protesters they're working together like it's an incredible operation by the way. Super smart from it was like cat and mouse. Police and protesters. It was a game. It was a game of chess every week. They'd send the police off to certain places they thought they were going to be, and then they'd turn up somewhere else, and the police would they'd outnumber each other, whatever. Anyway, the one day, they had taken the bricks out of the road. As in the pavement. They take the bricks out, and they piling them up, and then they put them on the roads. 2 bricks, stand up, and then a brick across the top, like a little house, if you like, everywhere. And then cars can't drive. No, we can't go past. And they were doing this everywhere, and they were taking the railings off. And then all of a sudden, there's no railings left on the street, but there's no police anywhere to be seen. And I'm just walking around like it was the apocalypse. I don't know. I just couldn't believe I wasn't in danger. No. I'm just watching mainly blokes, obviously, and they're all covered up, and they've got essentially gas masks on, to be honest, from the tear gas, and they're dressed. You can't tell who anyone is. And I was like, this is mental. And then we saw all of the worst week actually was when Mam came to town. So the protests were on a weekend every week. And then they decided to really, fuck with the city, and we're going to attack on a Monday. So there's 2 tunnels to go from Hong Kong Island to Kowloon. Kowloon is very attached to mainland China. There's 2 tunnels, and they decided to take over the one. They're going to petrol bomb and those cars will go through. We closed it off and whatever. And then that's when it was the universities. And then you cannot believe what you see. They didn't see anything the same person, you see it all online. And like these police vans are fully blown up in flames with people inside them because they're being petrol bombed. And I just couldn't believe it was happening. Especially in our Hong Kong's incredibly straight-laced. It's so straight-laced. People don't, everything is fine, put it in Hong Kong, everything's cannot. They already don't do that. Cannot. Right. It's so straight-laced thing. So to see the city in Bedlam was...
And that's a shocking system.
It was mad.
Obviously being there and that amount of time and everything, straight-laced, like you said, and then it's the absolute carnage on your front door, and it's like, what on earth's going on?
One of my best mates landed in the city, and he was there for something like 12 hours, and he's like, how long is it to get into town? And I was like, it's half an hour, definitely you can't. It was on a Sunday. By the time he got to, from the airport into the town, almost all the MTRs are closed because they'd all been petrol there, all the exits.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I was like, you better go back, but get back before you get caught.
Yeah. And it's crazy.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say I wasn't in danger. There was danger around. But none of it was aimed at people. It was aimed at the police and it was aimed at the government. That was bad. It was.
Like, obviously, with the mask situation, I was like, would you ever going to get out of that?
Yeah, that felt like forever. And the restrictions were unfair by the end. It didn't make sense.
How did you feel looking over to the UK and looking over to Americans just did their own thing from day one anyway? But not to say with the UK, to be honest, but how did that feel when you saw these restrictions start falling away? Vaccines being rolled out and like kind of normal life.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense that we were still in it, especially with, our cases were now done. By the way, people in Hong Kong were actually pleased that people haven't got cars. You have to walk everywhere. The Hong Kong diet's actually for the most part, very healthy. They eat rice and they eat meat. There's not a lot of, people are eating takeaways. It is a takeaway, but what I'm saying is it's not like good Chinese or whatever. People are actually very healthy in it, and you have to. Nobody's got a car. Very few have got a car. Yeah. So the only people who actually died of COVID were the very, very elderly, or people with pre-existing conditions. Yeah. Our death rate was tiny. Yeah. So that was also frustrating. Lots of people I know, unfortunately, passed away in the UK. There's a lot of them again. It's like, are they obese? Are they unhealthy? Whatever. Our death rate was tiny, so that was even more frustrating. Going where there's hardly any cases left, and actually no one is dying. Everyone's recovering. The percentage. So that was frustrating.
Do you think it was obviously the press to say, again, like one of the worst affected areas because you've got men links to China and stuff like that. Do you think it was a little bit of a propaganda thing?
There was a change in leadership at the time. It was a lady. We have a chief executive until .com time. We have a prime minister. We have a chief executive, and the chief executive was a lady called Carrie Lam. She had a terrible time between the protests and then COVID. The worst time you could have ever been the chief executive in history. And she decided not to run for another 4 years. And I think by that point, Hong Kong and China still are very different.
Yeah.
that was proved during COVID when China was like, they locked people in their houses. When there was a change in leadership, they used that as an opportunity to go, Hong Kong is not back, but like John Lee came in and changed the policies for the better. So I don't know if I necessarily asked you a question there, but I don't really know, but when he came in, it was like a change in leadership, and there was a change in policy, and there was a change in bias, and she unfortunately she's still like the Hong Kong most hated person ever.
Okay, I really need to talk to you about Whitehead Ross Education, who are an education and social welfare organisation. Founded in 2012, they deliver a variety of high-quality skills-related programs and social services provision. Their programs include support for unemployed individuals to retain and secure jobs, vocational training programs, adult education and social services provision. Since started in 2012, they have now supported over 11,500 individuals. Their existing clients include local authorities, the Department for Work and Pensions, and Education Skills Funding Agency. They have locations throughout Wales and England, including Merthyr Tydfil, Swansea, Neath Port Talbot, Newport Bridgend, Brighton, Gosport, Worthing, Swindon and Weymouth. A full list and more details are available by visiting their website at www.wrecltd.co.uk, and you can also follow them across their major social media platforms. And thank you for sponsoring this episode. This is a paid advertisement from the wonderful people from Brynawel Rehab, who are based in the beautiful countryside setting in Llanharan, Wales. Brynawel offers opportunities for detox and rehabilitation for people struggling with addiction. The Brynawel team will give you the best support, tools and expertise to recover from your dependencies, to change your life and become the person you were meant to be. They offer affordable, evidence-based therapy programs tailored to each individual guest, and also well-being activities such as horticultural therapy, art therapy, gardening in their well-being allotments, gym visits, yoga and meditation. All rooms are single and ensuite. To book a visit or for further information, please contact the team on 01443 226 864 or email contact@brynawelhouse.org. And thank you for sponsoring this episode. Coffee. We all love it. Most of us rely on coffee to get us through our busy day. But then comes the inevitable energy slump that's left us feeling drained and unproductive. Not anymore. Plus Coffee is a premium functional coffee and the first of its kind to push the boundaries between traditionalism and innovation. 100% vegan friendly and with 100 milligrams of caffeine, they found the benefits of adaptogens that date back hundreds of thousands of years. It's imperative that we don't necessarily change the coffee that you love, but improve the way you consume it on the daily. To get your new fix or to find out more, visit pluscoffee.co.uk.
In terms of an entrepreneur, you know, and being an entrepreneur, you've done incredibly well, really. When you look at where you've come from, the average person is kind of, I think, boxed. I think we're kind of ring-fenced into, you're from the South Wales Valleys. I've had this conversation previously with different guests. It's a values mentality. You're from the South Wales Valleys. You live in the South Wales Valleys, you work in the South Wales Valleys, and dine in the South Wales Valleys. And you kind of ripped that rule book up and have gone off, and you've lived in different countries, you've had different experiences, you've lived through riots and political protests, you played rugby in different parts of the world, you fucked the farmer over for the Chinese marbles.
Let's go with that.
But I don't know, but
You feel like you told him a story, you should have
I don't remember that part, but go on.
But I think, you've got to just take one look at what you do now, and as you said, you had an opportunity to get on the radio, that then kind of progressed. How do you manage everything? Because you've got such a busy life. And I texted her the other day, and I said, one of the things is, do you ever see yourself? And I asked, we've had a couple of entrepreneurial people, and I was like, do you ever see yourself being able to take the foot off the gas and start a family, or think, I'm just going to do this and be.
I think I'll get it eventually. It's very kind of you to say all those things. I still genuinely feel like I've only just started, and I still feel like I'm not even having tried yet. Do you know what I mean? So that's for me. It's nice for you to say that, and I agree. But also inside, it feels like
Just waking up.
a little bit. You know, as I also know that, you know, it's funny, right? I've just drank a shot of tequila there, but like I've had my fair share of issues with alcohol and issues. Not that I want to get home and like, you know, drink all night in my house or whatever. It's like, you know, we're going out and we're going to party, and I'm going to party harder than anyone else, and you ain't going to bring me down. But of course, there's always a down. And I felt like for a long time I was stuck in the mud a little bit, and you know, you've got all these ambitions and whatever, and then you get up on the weekend or like you would even get to Hong Kong's an amazing place. It's so social. I didn't come into like one of these amazing jobs which some people get, you know, the corporate world or whatever, and some of my mates, you know, earn a fortune, and life is definitely not about money, and I realised that from them more than me, if anything. But it was hard not to, when you've got nothing, it's hard not to think about these boys making money, whatever. You need to do. Maybe I don't want to do what they're doing, but you need to pull yourself together and whatnot. So I felt like I'm fine with this, so I regret any of it. But I felt like for a long time I didn't. You know, I want to say wasted. I can't say wasted because it is what it is. You know, still having a good time and all that. And I wouldn't be here if I didn't do that, and maybe I'd regret not going out. So I don't want to say wasted, but I do feel like, you know, I was stuck in the mud for a little bit.
I think everyone is like still figuring it out.
A little bit.
Knowing what you want to do, just trying things in different like that, and finally you just a point where it's like, I know what I want to do.
And then if you get a little bit of momentum and you get a nice little break, and then this thing, I still pinching myself a little bit with the more recent work with High Rocks, and they came to town to Hong Kong. It's literally only 1 year ago. It was May 31st last year they did their first event, and they came to town and they were like, oh, we need an MC. And I'd been doing bits of, you know, I did the radio and I was doing events and whatnot, and then High Rocks it's a fitness event, right? So they went to the gyms and gone, oh, do you know? Yes, brilliant, but there's no, I don't spoilers here, but they've got people to bring it to Cardiff.
Wow.
That would be massive. Yeah, I could get that. Okay, you'll get double that. But that's
You're just a big bleed. You're not going to bring it up.
It'll be a bleed.
they'd like to bring it Cardiff, but I think they know Wales will be, you know, it's not just Cardiff, right? People travel miles to this.
Yeah, I don't think we'll go to the Birmingham one.
So isn't it? That's it.
Yeah, I think it was Glasgow like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Time ago from South Wales all the way to Glasgow.
Yeah, I'd love to do it. It's great. And I'm just like, you know, went to Nice this week, you know, and they pay for me to go, and then I get paid, and I'm like, and that's not me in any shape or form trying to brag. I'm just like, I actually can't believe that's a thing.
Yeah, like I'm getting paid to do something
Yeah,
like that.
I know. Yeah. So to go back a step, when am I going to slow down? You know, momentum is real. You know, and you get a bit, and then more things kind of happening, and I'm like, well, no, I need to go faster now.
Yeah,
you know,
so you just need to take the hazard come and
that's it.
I'm there and going.
And you said, yeah, and then you can always get to a point where when you do stop and go, fuck, that was a good ride, that wasn't it?
Yeah, finally, like you do get. I think you will get that point where it's like, oh, maybe I should slow down a little bit. Pick and choose what I want.
Yeah.
Instead of taking all the opportunities that come to me or I've picked out.
Yeah.
Just pick.
I'm definitely in a stage where I actually need to do that now, because I know that I can't actually maintain. It's more of a health thing than anything.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, some weeks I actually would sleep so little, and it's not that I don't look after myself. You know, I eat well. I just did bodybuilding show where I eat well. I train almost every day. So it's not like I don't look after myself, but not sleeping, it's stress is not the right word. There's an element of like pressure with it. You've got to do this by that date. You've got to turn up and be energetic. Yeah. Have I got a DJ set? Have I got work? So it's like
It's all the mind's actually. It's all the mind's like into the fact that you've got to show up. You've got to be well talented. You've got to, and And I think, yeah, sort of, I would say an anxiety sort of not mentality, but you know what I mean.
No, it is. As I said, it's not, stress is not the right word. It's more like a pressure, and it's like, fuck, that's next, that's next. And like eventually
it's the thing of, like, when you go into places like that, it's the unknown. So you got the unknown, know you got to do, but until you actually, if it's something done, you know you can find it, and it'd be, that's before, so it's fine.
Yeah.
What about it?
Do you know what? That's actually one of my biggest issues.
So it's like, you're going into a new place, a new venue, you don't know what's coming, and it's like, and then when you get there, it's like, what the fuck are they doing?
Sorry, but so that's the point. Part of my issue is going, say I actually literally yesterday, Paul, who kind of does my YouTube stuff, he's a legend, he'll put my stuff together. We published a 40-minute video yesterday. I hope we never do a 40-minute video ever again. But it was my work from Thursday to Monday. And the amount of commitments I had in those 4 days was ridiculous. But we published it because it's like part of my story, and you're saying this is actually what it is. I've built up like a tolerance and a bit going, I've done this before, going, right, well I know I could work Friday and I can work 3 times on Friday, and then I can work 3 times on Saturday. Go, well I've done that, then maybe I can work Sunday as well. And actually, do you know what? Maybe I'll work twice on Sunday. And then on Monday night, I'm going to do a DJ set up on the bodybuilding.com because I leave on Tuesday for Europe. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So then it's like, I've already figured out what I can fit in, and then you try to squeeze a bit more in. that I need to stop.
And there's probably the overthinking of this plan.
Yeah.
Because you know, the bits you've done before, it's like, they're back there, they're gone. But the bits that I feel, it's like, right, should I really did it?
Yeah.
I agreed to it. Fuck, I've done it now. I just follow with me. And that's when the overthinking comes over, like.
Yeah.
And like you say, you're going to be there, do what you need to do, and the pressure of it then, but.
And all of it's, you know, I don't want to sit next to them, you know, like all of my stuff is like energetic and in-person stuff. So people give you energy. The music, the atmosphere, whatever gives you energy. You know, if I had to work 4 days straight to my laptop, I couldn't do it. But it's like it's an experience, and it's an in-person thing, and you know, the people give you energy, or the kids will, you know, no matter how tired I am going to work on a Saturday or Sunday morning to coach them, they run in and they'll say your name, or they're like beaming because it's the highlight of the week. You can't not feel amazing. It's like, you know, your kids are, you know, you're using a little bit young, like you get, you know, when they're a little bit older. That gives you a feeling that you cannot buy or experience through anything else. You know, so that helps you go as well. And literally in this video that I published, I reckon I had 3 hours sleep, because on the Saturday night I got a really nice opportunity to. There was a DJ in Hong Kong, my mate had booked him. He wanted someone to look after him, but he didn't really trust anyone to look after him. He was quite famous and whatever, and he was like, I want you to look after him. Brilliant. Took him to the hotel and, you know, met him, whatever, then take him to the gig, look after him for the gig or whatever. You know, the main event isn't early on, a DJ gig is late. No, then I had to be quite far away the next morning, about 8:30, so I reckon I had 3 hours sleep. I'm tired. That's after a long, you know, already a few events before that, and then I get there, I'm tired, the sun is shining and the kids ready, they're pumped.
Because I've always noticed on my WhatsApp where you have like your last scene, and you
I probably should take it off.
No, but you seemingly so the other 5 notes to 4, and you look at the time and you think, well, I'm fine, but you're just constantly on the go, which I think is incredible, to be honest. Like you said, I think a lot of people can take some lessons. Well, yeah, that was incredible. You know, the shape you bring yourself in for that skeletal fighting form.
That actually is, believe it or not, is actually what makes some of the other stuff easier. You know, it's quite a disciplined lifestyle, and you have to tick that box, and you go, well, I've ticked that one, and the other ones are really easier now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But not maybe for everybody.
I do get that. When it's like, I've got to do this for myself, and then everything else just sit down. Well, be guarded on myself, and just have to win. But like you said, the discipline of the body, you know, like, that's my goal, that's what I got to do, and I know what I do it.
I think it would be remiss of me not to mention the DJing. You know, that's, I'll be totally honest, anyone who knows me knows I like my music.
Yes.
I'm a rock fan at heart.
I know that.
And you know, I like all different types of music, but I have an incredible amount of respect for anyone that can perform in front of an audience, whether they're on stage in a play, or they're in a film, or they perform in live music or whatever. The DJ stuff, it again, and it seems to be something that comes up with you in my mind over the course of this conversation. It's fucking empty then. Like, I've seen these videos and like fucking streamers and pyro, and you have some of the most rascal gear, but it's this persona. But the one thing that you can see in every single video and every single photo is, good God, you're having fun. No,
Yeah.
you're having fun. How did that become a thing where you before, do you know what, I'm gonna DJ? You know, have you always had an interest in
Yeah, so I look, we were speaking about this, as I said, we had a family gathering last night, and we were speaking about it, and they were asking me the same things, like, where's it come from? Like, you're 34 now, like, why are you now?
Yeah.
And, you know, think back all of your years of your childhood. How many Christmas presents can you ever remember really getting?
Yeah.
There's a few, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like you could bring out, this one I was 9, this one I was 10.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
I remember vividly getting my first CD player and my CDs, and I couldn't tell you how happy I was. And then, and that was before I had a CD Walkman. It was like a CD player for my bedroom. It was over the moon there, and then he was like, you know, if I chose to buy CDs, I'd come home from school, and the CD player was on, the radio was on. It's always been there.
So we mentioned about DJing, and obviously that's taken off. We've done some pretty cool gigs over the last couple of weeks and months. You've released your first track,
Yeah,
I believe, as well.
yeah.
What's the plan with the DJ going forward? For someone who's as busy as you, where it's non-stop and fingers in all these different punnets, you know, what's do you what's the plan with the DJ?
The plan is to do less of the other stuff, and I need to have some really, you know, honest conversations. And I don't want to say I actually like everything I do right now, but I need to make some difficult decisions and chop some of them, because I want to have a crack at it. You know, like I think this year out, we're in June now, and April to April is this 1 year sabbatical, if you like, and I need to be making music every day, and I need to be DJing every day. You know, not necessarily do, but like I need to be doing this every day. And at the moment, it's difficult to do that because of, you know, I have this radio show, and it's amazing. And the funny thing is about when you have like a serious deadline is you have no option but with it. And every Friday I have to put on the show. The last thing I wanted to do yesterday, it was a dome. What was today? The last thing I wanted to do, yesterday I woke up at 5:30 a.m. to interview someone on Zoom for it. And I was done today, anything in it. And as much as I enjoy it, it was the last thing I wanted to do today. But it's a deadline.
Yeah.
And I've got no option but to do it. And I almost need to have the same, it's not easy, but I need to have the same discipline and the same deadlines with myself about the music.
Yeah. But I really respect that, and I can, you know, because I worked in places whereby there is a term which I think is a made-up term, which is a hard deadline. And there's another deadline is an ultimate. It's a final, right? You have a deadline, and then there are things that happen before it and things that happen after. You don't have a hard deadline. You just have a deadline. So I can really respect that. You know, that you think, well, no, I'm sorry, one way or the other, it's getting done.
Yeah.
Because you've got responsibilities, and you know, you are your brand now in your own way. You know, so you've got, you know, to think about how you're perceived.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be the person who gets asked, right, can you be this by this date? Oh yeah, I can. And then the next they say, oh, is there any chance I can give our team tomorrow?
Yeah.
Or why? I've already said it was alright. Yeah, like
So again, I need to get rid of some. The plan is to really have a crack at it. I've been accepted into this essentially this music school, this artist development program. I'll start September the 5th, and that's 15 hours of music production every week.
okay.
It's quite a commitment. But I'm excited for that. And then you do 5 weeks of that. It's like a heavy boot camp, and then you go into this feedback period, if you like, of 3 to 6 months where you have to make a song every week.
Okay.
Every single week you'll finish a song. That's the deadline part. And then you go through this academy. And the academy isn't my ticket to, the big stage, but the academy comes with, I've been through and done all of that, but if you've been through and done all of that, you are of a certain caliber, because this academy has built their reputation. And then they'll go, this guy's good, look at this one. And if I'm sending up music to a record label, and I'm just me right now, in a few months, and literally only 6 months into, not even that, 5 months into making music, who am I? But if I've been through this academy, they go, this guy's good, we go, we'll give it a listen. Doesn't mean we're going to sign it or anything, we'll give it a listen.
You've got more chance.
You've got a reputation back. So that starts in September. I've just bought this amazing piece of DJ kit, which is portable.
As this is incomparable.
That's it, yeah. I just did a little bit in Hong Kong. It was amazing, man. Like, it's so funny because I didn't play out loud because I didn't want to get in trouble. So I'm playing through my headphones. I'm just having the best time ever.
Cannot.
Well, there was a good chance that cannot would have arrived. But I didn't want to get shut down, if you like. But I'm just jamming there, dancing. But unless you were close, you wouldn't, or even if you were close, you wouldn't even know that I had DJ decks. You know, was this idiot dancing over there to that camera? So in July in Hong Kong, I'm going on a 20-date tour. Hong Kong, yeah. And the first date, I don't know how much you know about Hong Kong. There's an amazing Ferris wheel on the harm front, sponsored by AI. Red, it's the most photographed icon in Hong Kong, and there's a lot of photographs. They said yes to me doing a DJ set inside the gondola.
Oh wow!
And I'm down there.
That's awesome.
Obviously, no one can come, and the guys who help me produce my DJ sets and whatnot, they'll come with me, and it's a half-an-hour ride essentially. So my first location is on site on the Ferris wheel. And the main idea of this 20-date location, there's two sides. So the one side is to create ridiculous content around Hong Kong and hopefully grow a Hong Kong following of people going, this, whatever. A, it's attention grabbing because you're in these ridiculous places with DJ decks, and B, going, maybe we should go watch this guy.
Yeah.
So, and then the plan is for on the 20th date, which I haven't really decided yet, but the 20th date's going to be a party.
Darling dear.
Well, but I mean, like, hopefully across the month, I've the plan is I've gained hopefully a lot of followers, and that's the general idea anyway. And then invite people there, and that'll turn into an event. So July is dedicated to
music,
the tour, if you like. August is dedicated to me deciding on my responsibilities and what I can chop and what I can keep, because Rugbytotshk, our biggest period of the year is September. It's a new academic year, right? Parents are signing up for schools, whatever. So August is about cleaning my house up, and then September I start music school.
Wow.
And the goal by the end of the year is hopefully to have four records signed by labels. That's the goal.
And they could challenge in there too.
Will be next year. It'll be a while. I watch all of these DJs, and there's the music production element, is the performance element. How well can you engage with the crowd? I don't do too many people very well. They're just up there playing the buttons or whatever, and people like the music, but it's an experience, right? If I'm looking at you and we're having a good time and I've given energy, we're all in it together. There's too many of them it depends on your personality, right? I think a lot of them who've made it far, they're actually not even doing anything in terms of a performance.
Yeah.
And then there's one or two who will get on the mic and not just about like when someone gets in the mic, the crowd are happy then.
Yeah.
We have now
Interaction.
connected
Yeah.
because you've recognised me as a crowd member, and I actually really like you as a DJ. Now we've connected because you got on the mic. So I'm hoping between the three of them, my biggest thing I need to do now is actually make good music. I feel like I've got the mic stuff, I've got the performance stuff. Again, all these things need to still be improved.
Yeah.
But I do have those elements already, and now I just need to make the music and we'll see what happens. So that's the plan anyway, is to crack on and see what happens.
Yeah, I think based on when you talk about a track record, I think based solely on your track record, I feel comfortably putting money in the that during this session.
Yeah,
Based purely on your track record.
and I'm not so much the track record, but I think that the type of person you are, you've got that goal now, and it's like, I'm hitting that goal, and I won't be happy until I've hit that goal.
You know, we spoke, didn't we, back in January, and I spoke about, and you and the same time, how many, it's not just boys, girls as well, but how many boys do the Australia thing, and they come back, and they had a great time, but there's that sense of, it went for me. And 9 times out of 10, maybe no, it isn't fun. But then there's also that element where you think, well, you couldn't hack it. You couldn't hack not being at home. You couldn't hack not being around your family. You couldn't hack. Whereas what you've done is you've just put your head down, and from day one you've gone, there is no alternative where this doesn't work.
Yeah, honestly not far off. And I feel like I need to mention him because he's quite frankly been life-changing. Is one of my good friends. We had a conversation in November on a Sunday. We both just happened to be having coffee at the same place. Turned into a 3-hour chat, and I had a lot to do that day. That 3-hour chat. At the end of that 3-hour chat, I thought, Jesus Christ, I had work to do today. I just spent, imagine me longer than that. Anyway, he told me about a guy he started working with, who was his business coach. Long story short, I'm now 6 months working with him, and he's literally changed my life. And you know, a bit like you've been kind enough to say you've done this and done that. Lots of people will go, and it's not even like a value thing, it's like people I've met everywhere go, oh, I can't do that, or it's just like it's like you turn, not even turning your nose about it, going, well, you can't, it's not possible, or why are you doing that? It's not confidence, why are you doing that? And then I started speaking to him, told him about stuff, and he's going, that's not big enough. You can do more than that. And I was like, Jesus, no one ever tells this to me. Yeah. So even he's such a hard taskmaster. And even on Tuesday, I just played in the biggest nightclub I've ever played in last weekend in Nice. I cannot tell you, I walked in the club and gone, this is massive. I've never played anywhere like this before. Nervous. When nervousness and excitedness kicks in equally at the same time. Yeah. Spend the next 2 hours thinking about what I'm going to do, because you might have a plan, but you're in a club and that you need to have a couple of plans. Yeah. So you spend 2 hours kind of like figuring out what was going on. Anyway, I'm over the moon with what I've done. Everyone's loved it. I'm on a high. We have our call on Tuesday, 2 days ago, or 3 days ago, whatever it was. And we've spoken about things that I was going to do for the month. I've not ticked some of them off yet, and he's going, why not? And I'm going, well, I was focusing on this, and I'm just going until he's like, stop, doesn't matter, whatever. And I was like, at the end of the conversation, like I was a little bit upset, and then he's gone, did you ever think you could play internationally? And I went, yeah, I did. So why you don't hang on to this weekend? He's like, I knew you could do that all along. Don't think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And as harsh as he was with me, he was like, well, yeah, I did think I could do it. And yeah, maybe I shouldn't be thinking that sun shines up my arse out doing 2 gigs in France. It was like, all right, cool. So having him in my life has like completely changed it. You know, my trader, he's a hard task. He's making me approach it from like a business point of view.
Yeah.
He's made me go on LinkedIn, completely change my profile, and I'm emailing or inboxing heads of record labels.
Wow.
That's the way we're approaching it.
Yeah.
Not one single person has come back to it yet, but One will eventually. One will eventually.
It comes it how
And then he made me message 50 DJs on Instagram. Message up. They come up with a list of questions and DM them. Don't send them all the same question. Come up with 5 questions and send 10 of them one question to whatever. Done that, you wouldn't believe how many people came back to me.
Never.
You wouldn't believe it. I was like, I cannot believe. I reckon I got 50% people reply to me. I'm talking like the biggest DJs in the world. But I started it off with a nice message going, a little bit personal. Maybe they brought out a song, maybe they just had a gig in Dubai or whatever. So I started off with something personal and then going, these are my aspirations, and just started out. And then this stole kind of his idea, and the end of the message was him going, there was a time ago when you were as hungry as I am right now. I'm in your position.
Yeah.
And then I'd ask the question.
Okay.
And I can't believe how many people replied. So it was the way I framed it, him doing that again, like I was saying earlier, there's like a momentum thing, and you're going, and do you know what the message was? It was like, don't stop, keep going, never quit. None of it was like,
you can't do it.
none of it was anything that actually, I asked them quite specific questions, some about software, some about, even courses, like how did you learn? There's a million ways to learn how to make music, how do you learn and whatever. But without doubt, the overarching message was, don't stop.
Yeah, that's harsh.
So it's having him in my life has been like, I pay him, he's not cheap, however, he's without doubt changed, well actually, only because of him I'm here in this music journey now, because the plan was to work with the business stuff, and he was like, nah, you need to do something new, because our Rugbytotshk is great, it's a franchise, it's not mine. He's going, you need to do your own thing.
Yeah.
That's it. So we were looking at other businesses. I was going to move to Dubai actually. That's another story altogether. In February I went there, we'd said, got a business plan, and we were looking for $1 million investment by June. Now, we'd already figured out where we were spending it. And then it came down to it, and I was like, I really want to try the music. And then one day I just had to be completely honest with him. He's like, look, I'm not here for you to be like, you could be whatever you want.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do the music thing, we're doing it in the same manner as a business. Yeah. I've got KPIs, it's ridiculous. I'm telling you now, no DJ in the world has ever attacked it with KPIs like he has. Message 50 DJs, message 30 record label executives on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But I'm learning at the speed I never expected. And again, the DMs on Instagram, I cannot believe how many replied. Yeah. Not one that's replied on LinkedIn yet. No. But
that's very different.
Whatever.
As if we did.
If anything, I actually thought it might be the other way around. People on LinkedIn, it's a bit more personal, they're a bit more professional.
I find
Instagram, can you imagine how many they get?
That's true. Something in the actual lyrics, if they'd read that lyrics.
Yeah.
Do you ever think though that if you would pursue to do it, if you had done it in October, you could have had DJ Oxy before we die? Classic.
It's a classic.
It's a classic.
It definitely is. I'm sorry, I wanted to go back a second before we had all the realisation. I used to go to Jewish Boys Club.
You did?
We played football or whatever, and at one time, these guys came for music production. We sat in out, they brought all these, I don't even know what they were, I think they were synthesizers and whatnot. They bring all this equipment, and they're like a kid in a toy shop. Like,
look at all these.
Look at all this, whatever. I reckon I was 10, 11, 12. I can't really remember, but I reckon I was about that old. I'm absolutely in love with everything they're talking about. And then we leave, all the boys go, shit, that was. And I thought, that was shit. Put it in a box then. It was put in a box and never came back out again. So there's all these things, we didn't remember why I asked the question, what I doing to it. All these things led to it, and then my friend Ian, he's a DJ, he's been DJing a long time. Went to his house for a house party once, he's got the equipment there. First time you look at the equipment, it looks like a spaceship. It's like your first time you're in a car, or when you're in the driving seat anyway, you're going, well, I don't know what any of this does. But like anything, you break it down and you understand actually there's only a few important buttons on there.
Yeah.
Then when we started our events company, we needed somebody, because it's not a case of just playing music for 2 hours, it's a bit of a show. There's sound effects and there's timings, all the things, it's not just a 2-hour DJ set. So somebody needed more invested. I was like, fuck it, this is my time to learn. I wanted to do this for a while. So I bought some equipment, bought an online course, and did a bit of research, and then just had a crack. Didn't really do it properly for, I'd say 4 years. As in like, I'd only play the events, whatever. And then, kind of partly through COVID actually, we had much more time on our hands, and then I took a deeper dive into house music and we had more time to play and explore and whatnot, and kind of find your sound with them. I started putting out mixes for people to listen to because they were working out at home. So I was calling them. Still to this day, my most played mix is called Work From Home, WFH, Workout. And that was my most played, still my most played ever one. And then you get people going, oh, this is class, and keep doing it and whatever. So then it was like, cool, I got to another level, and then you play, then I did another course. You kind of level up a little bit again, and then you get a bit more creative. And about, well, it was March, no, it was December 2022, if you like. And then I was like, I reckon this was time for me to go play in a club. It's all well and good doing events and all, but like playing in a nightclub is totally different. Yeah, totally different game. People have come, quite frankly, for the DJ. They've come to dance. It's different to being background music in an event, or when people are paid to be in an event, they leave because they paid to be here. Nightclub, you've got to keep them there. A few places couldn't get in, and then there's a guy called Francis, and I owe a lot to him for, again, a bit like Alison's my radio boss. Francis gave me my chance, and then he happened to take over the entertainment at a nightclub I'd wanted to play at for a long time. And he was like, "I want to give you a shot," and I've been there a year, and I bring in, I bring in the biggest crowds, and not that's not even just from the music thing. It's from me promoting it, inviting people. When people come, I thank people for coming. We feel like one team. It's not like I was a random DJ up there. Like I tried to connect with all people. I got this little group of people now, and they've become really good friends. They follow me everywhere. I can't, still so grateful for that. And then they'll bring their friends, and they'll go, and then I get a guest list for the club, and the next thing there's like 80 people on my guest list. I only might only know 20 of them because they bring in their friends and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Friends.
So that's kind of how I got into it, and that's the next.
That's
the next plan, and it gives like being in Nice on Sunday night. It was a new level of high again. I couldn't believe the club was like the technology in this club was mad. They liked it.
It was a booby.
It was amazing.
It was a booby thing,
and I was like, all right, cool. I feel like I belong back here. The guy who's the venue DJ, he's a French music producer, very well respected. He's the head DJ at this huge club. He's very complimentary. We connected, and through him wanting to connect, it was like, well, he didn't need to do that. He wanted to do that with me. So, we'll see what happens. I've got my first gig in IB3.
3 days?
No, I am going to a gig this week. I go in August, which is exciting.
And there's last thing you can mention.
Yeah,
Absolutely clap.
yeah. It's the other side of DJ, which it depends on which way they go with. It's like, I don't want a drunk DJ. I want to do a good job. I might have disco too. But actually, I'm here to perform and do a good job. Some DJs, and that's fine. You can do whatever you want. You're musicians. How many musicians go out there absolutely hammered, and then they might smash it?
Some of the biggest rock bands in the world were half cut on drugs.
Exactly.
At their heyday.
Exactly.
And you see it now, and everyone's like, oh, they're not as good as they used to be. But yes, they're not on their face and crap.
But I do get that. It's like you want to do your best.
Yeah. I always remember someone saying that Metallica got cracked when James Hetfield was sober. But you can see from a performance point of view, this when he was drinking on stage compared to when he was sober, and so you would switch it on, but he was still a hell of a performer. But you can see there's something behind it. But I think it's amazing, and
we wish you all the best thing. The sweet through it there is people come with sort of
everything else.
Just sleep the farmers fun. Yes, please sleep the farmers. Fuck farmers all been be like.
So I was Ben. and he's awesome.
And Ben. Try to listen.
He's very awesome, and he's an inspiration as well, I think. For anyone, especially from our area, who other than that they can't do something. Or that
You can't do it.
Yeah, or they, you know, it's it's too far, it's too hard. Because here's an individual who's done his fair share and walked the roads, and he proved that he can do it. And I'm blessed to call her a friend, and I'm really proud. And I said that to you a while ago. No, I said it a while ago. I was really proud because I did it a long time. And to see this journey, I'm really proud because I just think that it is it's like a once in a school year.
Yeah.
You get one person, an Indian student.
Yeah.
So I think you did great.
Very good, thank you. Thank you for having me. I've thoroughly enjoyed the shooting this. Very pleasure.
Yeah.
We'll do it again.
We will do it again. So yeah, we'd like to thank obviously Plus Coffee for being one of the sponsors, as well as Brynawel Rehab Centre and Whitehead Ross Education as well.
Like we are,
your sponsorship and the support is really good, and it means a lot to us.
Yeah.
I suppose even though they probably wouldn't see it, big thanks as well to Nelson Rugby.
This is my second home. I spend a lot of time here, so thank you to the club.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's a beautiful venue. It is. So yeah, but we will see you in a few weeks. Yeah, we're going to have a couple of weeks to recharge batteries, and then come back with all new guests. Most of which I can nail down, and I know you've got some people.
Yes. Yeah. And going to be some interesting characters on.
And obviously we got to get you back.
Okay.
And the next time that you're in the UK, next time we can slow you down.
We just randomly turn up at his next gig and just our life.
Yeah, but it won't be in some really beautiful, like next to the sea place in Nice. It'll be in like
Coolers.
the Goodness.
That'd be class.
To be honest, I think you sound yourself like a shop doing it with Coachella when you could play in Coolers.
I wish I had like Coolers.
Yeah. Do a residency. Out of one of the cages.
I'm assuming it's still open.
It consists of
What else?
If you're on
also similar. Hey,
What is the average age of the Panther?
12. Do what they do cash back or they do cash back. Yeah. That age, dude.
What's the cash for?
Well, certain people may or may not be upstairs. But yeah, cheers, thank you
we
for
will see you
watching.
after our short break.
Go to Suzuki. Take it easy. Bye.
Bye.